Okay, here we go. Hello. How are you? My name is Matthew. You are in the Moment late night, 11:30 on this 13th day of October. It's a late Monday night, back to work for some, Thanksgiving for others. We'll talk about Thanksgiving in a couple of moments. Going to be in here real quick. 4 things to talk about, but the main reason that I'm in here this evening is I want to share a story that I had an experience today with an unhoused individual down at the Barrington Street encampment. I'm going to share that story with you because it's important, and I told him that the next time I did a show I was going to let people know of his situation. So that's what I'm going to do. But first, I always like to talk about the weather just to get things going, and I would love your thoughts on last week's weather. I know I went from shorts, t-shirts to pants, jacket, like a fall jacket. I've had sweaters on. I have yet to put on a toque, although today I probably could have worn one. So the weather that we had last week was just all over the place, and I'm hoping that it's not the last of the nice weather that we have. But I do encourage you tomorrow, according to Environment Canada, get outside tomorrow. A mix of sun and cloud with a high getting to around 17. Tomorrow night, the clouds roll in. The clouds are going to stay with us until probably Sunday. Temperatures are going to be in the low teens. So just keep that in mind. There is a frost advisory for this evening. So those are 2 things that I wanted to talk about. The third thing is this is the time of year that I love, and if you're looking to binge watch something, I'm a big fan of Netflix. Jen is rewatching the Netflix series Monster. This one is the Jeffrey Dahmer story. So I remember the horrific events that were tied in with Jeffrey Dahmer in like 91. So like the year I graduated when all this was happening. So I do find it interesting, a little bit fascinating to go behind the scenes and get to know this particular individual. I know there's another documentary out there as well. This is like the Netflix series with actor portrayals. But if you're looking for something dark and morbid in this October month, and you're not too easily frightened or you're not squeamish, you might want to check out the Netflix series Monster. It's an older one, but it's the Jeffrey Dahmer story. I'm going to change gears here real quick. There's no way that I can, segue into something off of that. But I just want to make mention, I was going through Facebook today. Like I said, Thanksgiving, a lot of people have the day off, a lot of family getting together. But I just want to give a shout out to everyone at the Souls Harbor Rescue Mission, Nova Scotia. I was talking about this last weekend, or previous to Thanksgiving, that they were going to be doing Thanksgiving dinners in different parts of Nova Scotia. They held their Thanksgiving dinner today here in Halifax on Kennard Street. And according to their Facebook page, they served 300 meals. 300 meals were served today. So just a big shout out to everyone at Souls Harbor Rescue Mission all across Nova Scotia. Okay, so Thanksgiving. Keep that in mind, and then just think about the story. I just want this next story to sink in with you, and I really want to go above and beyond to try and get this individual inside of 4 walls. And who am I talking about? I've mentioned this individual before. I've had many interactions with Rodney. Jen and I first met Rodney a few weeks ago outside one of the businesses in the downtown Halifax area. Since then, I've given him some of my own personal belongings, including like 50 feet of electrical cord, because he is down at the Barrington Street encampment. There is an electrical box down there, so he does have the option to hook into power, but it is incredibly crowded down there. And he was also the recipient of one of the care packages that was put together by Lynn and Rebecca and all the wonderful people in that church. I had the paperwork here somewhere. So I've had multiple interactions with Rodney, and if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I always make the most, and I encourage you to do the same thing, to make the most out of every interaction you have with individuals. If you haven't seen them in a while, it's just a simple hello, how are you, can make the difference in their day. Can make the difference in their day. So I'm walking to work today. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm walking by the Barrington Street encampment, which is growing every day. There seems to be new tents there every day. I've been walking by that parcel of land for nearly 4 years, and this is the most chaotic, this is the most mess, this is the most people that I've ever seen on that space. And just what I just wonder what goes through people's minds when they're visiting Halifax. Tourist, we know all the tourist buses go through there, taking people from the cruise ship and back to the cruise ship. Barrington Street is one of the main arteries into the city. What do they think? What are they thinking? Barrington Street encampment, Lower Flynn Park, Green Road, only 3 remaining encampments. Getting back to the Barrington Street encampment, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Who do I see walking towards me near the bus stop? But Rodney. I stop. Rodney, how are you? Not too well. Things are not too well. Excuse me. So I'm just going to get right to the facts of the conversation. Rodney is 60 years old, and he was extremely upset at the fact that he continues to live in an encampment, medical issues, just being robbed, doesn't have money for meds are being stolen. He was just off on a rant. And I let him go off on a rant. The only thing I could do for Rodney in that moment was just to be a set of ears. But I want you to know, and I'm pleading with every politician on every level. Like, if you were to just take a walk by any encampment, doesn't have to be Barrington Street, go to Lower Flynn Park, go to Green Road, just go for a walk. It's truly devastating. And here I am on a Monday afternoon, 1 o'clock, listening to a 60-year-old man who is living in a tent telling me that I don't want to do this anymore. And he turns and he looks at the McDonald Bridge, which is over his right shoulder. Like, we're right at the on-ramp. And he's like, I'm done with this. Like, I could just walk up to the bridge and just jump off. So, yes, I let him speak, but it also got to a point where I had to look at Rodney. Then I said to him, Rodney, from one human to another human, I have to know, are you okay? Do I have to make a phone call right now? Are you going to be okay? And he just looked at me and said, no, listen. I'm going to be fine. I'm just ranting. But just think about that. I've had 4 or 5 interactions with Rodney. I don't even know his last name. But he's telling me in the middle of the afternoon that he's just done. So I told Rodney that when he wants to share his story, and I encouraged him to really sleep on it, and there's a couple ways that we can do this. He can, if I saw him tomorrow and he wanted to stand beside me and tell you a bit of his story, I would absolutely let him do that. I want to do whatever is comfortable for Rodney. So it's either I take a video, do some editing, or I do a video where he's off camera but you hear him, or I just take out my phone with a voice memo and just record a conversation and get that up. But I think it's extremely important that you hear not just Rodney's story, but other stories that are out there. And I'll leave you with this. I was going through the Facebook group Helping End Homelessness in Nova Scotia, and an anonymous member posted that they're unhoused and they're looking to start their own podcast. I think that's wonderful. I think one of the biggest challenges for anyone who is unhoused to start a podcast is to have the technology to do so, to have a phone to do so. And even if you have a phone, it may not last very long, because if you're living out in an encampment, it's going to get stolen. It's going to get stolen. I took a picture today on the way to work down by the parkade at the casino. Someone had set their bike up along the guardrail, chained it up, not using chains, but, the cables, and someone just snipped it. Like someone just cut the cables and left the lock there and took the bike. That's the world. That's the world we're in. Okay. Rodney, 60 years old, health issues, at wit's end, telling me about just ending it all, jumping off the McDonald Bridge. Now, yes, he was ranting to me, but I got to take that seriously. Under the circumstances where he's in a two-man tent. He's in a two-man tent. And he's over 6 feet tall. Rodney is definitely over 6 feet tall. Anyway, the next time I see him, he's going to be beside me, but I need to get his story out there ASAP. And if you want to know more information about him, just send me a private message. Okay, that's going to do it for me. 11:42. I just wanted to come in here real quick. I wanted to share that story. I just wanted to continue to let you know that there are people out there, and they're really struggling. And he was in a fit because he didn't have the money to get his meds, because someone stole his money. So the meds that he needs to put a cap on the anxiety, which is impossible. You're not capping the anxiety if you're living outside. You're just absolutely not. And if someone is telling you you are, they're filling you full of BS. So my final thing, and I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, I've been saying it for years, and correct me if I'm wrong, but is the Legislative Assembly, have they already had their fall session and they're done? I thought I read somewhere where the Legislative Assembly was only up for like a week, and then they're closed for business. I don't get it. But I encourage every politician at every level, walk through an encampment, just go for a walk in your own friggin' city. Open your eyes, get out of your suits, put on your civvies, get rid of your security detail, and just walk around the city like Joe Blow. And give yourself, critique yourself. Look in the mirror and hold yourself accountable for what you are and are not doing. Okay. Enough ranting for me. Thanks for the live views. If you're watching this at your leisure, I appreciate you getting caught up. Sorry about the coughing spell there. A little dry. Okay. Oh, one final thing. Let me check here. Just looking at the baseball score, we have the Dodgers are leading the Milwaukee Brewers in Milwaukee. Game 1 of the National League Championship Series. It's 2-0. 2-0 Los Angeles. Bottom of the ninth, Milwaukee needs to score 3 or at least 2 to go to extra innings. We'll see how that plays out. But what we do know is that the Blue Jays have dug themselves a pretty deep hole. Games 3, 4, and 5 back in Seattle. That series resumes on Wednesday night in Seattle. Down 0-2. Not good. Canada's team. Crap on the bed. In front of the whole world. Okay, my name is Matthew, and you are currently caught up in the moment. Okay, I think we're good. Hello, how are you? My name is Matthew. You are in the moment. The 9 o'clock bells have just tolled here at City Hall. I'm at Grand Parade Square, 14th day of October. It's a Tuesday morning. The reason I'm in here, things move really quickly, and I just want to further the conversation that I had last night from my show at like 11:30. I specifically did a show last night at 11:30 after work because I wanted to tell you the story of Rodney, 60-year-old individual in a tent, Barrington Street encampment, and I was just telling you about his just horrible day yesterday and that he needed help. And after that broadcast, one of the fantastic Nova Scotians that was watching the show sent me a private message, sent me some funds for Rodney. So I'm in the city. I have accepted that e-transfer. I've withdrawn that money, and now I'm on the lookout for Rodney, so I can give this beautiful contribution to Rodney. And I'm going to ask him if I can get a picture as well, because I want you to have an idea. I've talked about Rodney a lot, and I want you to get an idea of what this particular individual looks like. So, just after 9 o'clock, 4 degrees. You can definitely see your breath today. Just to give you an idea of where I am here. That's City Hall right here. So I'm literally sitting. I'm sitting in the front yard of the mayor of the Halifax Regional Municipality. I look over this way. I can see one government place. Not much has changed. There's no people here because it's no longer a designated encampment. But believe you me, there are people all over the place here in the Halifax Regional Municipality. Okay, just after 9, it's cold. Think about those that woke up this morning dressed in layers, not able to put their hands around anything warm. Winter is coming. Winter is coming, and I continue to fear for those that are just out in the elements. Again, I'll end it by saying I encourage every politician from every level just to put on your civvies, go out anytime, and just walk through an encampment and tell me that you will not leave that being completely heartbroken and devastated. We're better than this. Okay, I'm going to continue on with my trek. I'll probably just get back on the bus because the bus, unfortunately, but fortunately, Rodney is in a tent right next to a bus stop. So I just literally need to get off the bus. I'll holler his name, see if he is there, give him the financial contribution. So maybe today he can get his meds. It's just a wild, dangerous environment outside. Okay, from Grand Parade Square, City Hall, on a Tuesday, my name is Matthew, and you are currently caught up in the moment.